The question is, how does your product use or challenges convention, and how does it represent social issues or groups? Today, I would be glad to discuss the technical, social, and cultural conventions that My AS Media opening sequence named Rachel follows and challenges. Let us first delve into how Rachel breaks and adheres to different conventions. In horror movies, conventions such as low key lighting or dim lighting are used to create an eerie atmosphere, signaling something ominous is about to occur, inducing fear in the audience. Like many horror films today, Rachel employs such conventions to build suspense and horror. Additionally, the nightmare sequence in Rachel is characterized by the use of red lighting, evoking a sense of blood and tension, while also creating a sense of claustrophobia in the audience due to a small room and an enclosed environment as the bed is cornered, making them feel suffocated and uneasy. Moreover, Rachel follows the convention of horror genre categorization. The horror genre is categorized into three categories: slow, slow burn horror, fast paced horror, and mid root horror. Specifically, the mid root horror category MRH, which means that a combination of slow burn horror and fast paced horror is used. Some of the elements of slow burn horror are combined with the fast paced horror's elements and to portray it in a medium way, which means that the paranormal activity portrayed in the movie can also take place during the daytime, deviating from the standard convention of the nighttime horror. In Rachel, the hospital scenes are shot during the day, challenging the convention that daylight should make the audience feel secure and safe, as the hospital is setting still is surrounded by the people, making the paranormal events more alarming. Usually, horror is not shot in crowded places, and conventions follow an abandoned or old building. The use of non diegetic sound effects such as FPH in fast paced horror are mostly influenced by non diegetic and fictional sounds such as screaming, screeching, crying, yelling, and creepy sound effects. And Rachel also conforms to the horror genre conventions, heightening the audience's fear and creating tension in the atmosphere. The shadowy shots in Rachel also contribute to the conventional horror genre elements, despite the film being shot in a hospital instead of an abandoned building. These are technical elements of conventions regarding. Now let's look forward to the cultural and social conventions. Rachel also deviates from the conventional portrayal of women in the horror movies. Typically, women are shown as vulnerable, emotional, and timid characters, often victimized by spirits and ghostly things. Whereas, in contrast, male characters are all strong and resilient. In Rachel, all the female characters are cast, including a strong female protagonist, Lila, who faces a paranormal experience with courage and strength, striving to protect her child. Whereas Rachel, a spirit, is shown to be kind and loving, but someone who has died unjustly and is now a vulnerable character and is very emotional as she is angry and vengeful for the revenge, highlighting a contrast between the female characters in the film. The opening sequence of Rachel also highlights institutional corruption as a significant social issue. Institutional corruption refers to large corporations getting away with wrongdoing due to their power and wealth. Rachel seeks vengeance against those who wronged her, revealing the extent of institutional corruption in the hospital setting where her death was covered up to protect the institution's reputation. However, this isn't shown in the film as this is the backstory and understanding of the plot of the opening sequence. This is a significant ethical issue as well, as the hospital should be held accountable for its action and ensure the safety of its patients and well being in their healthcare. Rachel also touches the theme of motherhood and the paranoia that accompanies it, portraying the vulnerability of mothers in the face of danger near their children while following the conventional horror theme of a mother and her child being threatened, like in the movies The Babadook, Mama, and Rosemary's Baby. Rachel sheds light on the social issue of how corrupt institutions can negatively impact people's life. Rachel, the character in the AS Media opening sequence, wanted to become a mother, but she passed away during her childbirth due to the hospital's negligence. Despite this tragedy, Rachel still has a soft spot for babies when she haunts the same room where she died and witnesses Lila giving birth. She assumes that the baby is hers and feels compelled to protect and claim it as her own. This scenario sheds light on a social issue that affects many mothers, which is the fear of losing or not being able to have a child due to medical negligence or other factors beyond their control. The pain and trauma of losing a child or the fear of it can have long lasting effects on the mother's mental health and emotional well being. This issue is significant as it highlights the importance of providing adequate healthcare and support to mothers during their pregnancy and childbirth, and the need for accountability when things go wrong. In the contrast, Lila's love and protective nature towards her baby in the media opening sequence highlights the universal social issue of motherhood and the innate desire of mothers to protect their children. This theme resonates with many mothers and families and underscores the importance of providing support and resources to new mothers, particularly in terms of mental and emotional well-being. The fear and paranoia, the fear and paranoia that Lila experiences also highlights the societal pressure on mothers to be vigilant and protective, particularly in the face of potential danger or harm. This pressure can have significant mental and emotional effects on mothers and can contribute to postpartum depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. Therefore, this issue underscores the need for society to provide greater support to new mothers, particularly in terms of mental and emotional well being, and to promote a balanced and compassionate understanding of motherhood. In summary, Rachel challenges and follows various technical, social, and cultural conventions. It challenges the traditional horror genre conventions of lighting, sound, and setting while conforming to the portrayal of vulnerable subjects and the use of non diegetic sound effects. It also challenges the conventional portrayal of women in horror movies while highlighting the social issue of institutional corruption and the vulnerability of a mother and protectiveness towards her child.